Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Bren Pickle, and we are back for finally another episode of Pickleton. This is one that I've been meaning to get to for quite a while, and I've known what I wanted to do for this build for quite a while, or for this episode. Less of a build and more of it's just a transit rehaul, basically. A couple episodes ago, before the beach assets pack and everything came out, I went through and deleted all of the public transit in the city. And it has had an impact in the meantime, since I've done a couple other things in the city since doing that. And the traffic, it's holding its own. It's fine. It's not causing too many problems. But I have definitely noticed an increase of cars, obviously, on the road, as well as pedestrians walking everywhere. So, and we'll check a little bit of that out as well. But I've just been really busy with work and also just kind of enjoying some other things and other hobbies of mine, and have gotten pretty sucked into some of those things. But we are back in Pickleton and I'm happy to be here. And so let's go ahead and jump into it, I guess, right? So let's go ahead and get out of this view here. And I want to show, we've got a couple issues in the city, but we're working on it. I think this is mostly due to, kind of just going like too big too fast when I redid this whole area and I upzoned it to be like higher density. So I think with time it'll kind of readjust itself. And then over here I think we should be able to see. No, it looks like it's cleared. No, yeah, here we go. Look at all of these people. So this is going to be something that we tackle today. And I mean, I'm thrilled that they're walking from this side to the other side. But we definitely want, because they can cause a lot of traffic crossing streets, we do want to clear some of this up. So we want to keep some of our intersections a little bit cleaner than that. So that's what we're tackling today. And we do have another couple issues that I just want to address and talk about. Like, if you know anything specifically about the abandonment that's been going on here, feel free to drop that in the comments. Always nice to just see if anybody out there knows a solution to the problem. But it does keep happening. We'll see if it happens again in this episode. But for now, it seems it actually went away. But we do have some crime in the area. But that's we'll work on that later. The other thing that I'm concerned about is these two buildings saying about the garbage. Now, they should be placed fine. So I'm not really sure if it's just an issue of time. They just need time to come around. This one I'm worried about isn't maybe connected to the road properly. Now, I don't know if it's because it has a pedestrian road or because of the way that I placed it. It's obviously not giving me any complaints that it's not connected. But if you have a solution on that as well, feel free to drop that in the comments. But it might just be an issue of they're just waiting for the trucks to come by.
This is Second Moon Radio.
Turn off the radio. Okay. It might just be an issue of just waiting for the trucks to come by. I just think it's interesting that it's only these two buildings. But we'll keep an eye on it. So, what we're going to do today is redo all of our transit. So the simple things that we have already that don't need a whole lot of work are our trains. Because we have most of them, they're already connected. I didn't get rid of any train tracks. But the only thing that I want to do, because I did put a train track in a train station over here, I want to find a way to connect these a little bit better. This is not the most efficient route for the train to take. It has to go out this way through our little industrial section where we have our rail yard, and then it comes back over here, which there's obviously a better way to do that, but that is one of those lessons that you learn of how to try to better formulate and plan your transit earlier rather than later. Because I just threw this one in. But we're going to go with it anyway. The only thing that I would like to do regarding the train station is try to get this track connected in here. So we'll grab our trains, and just so that it doesn't have to come out and then come back. I want to see if we can just get this in here. Now, I don't think it'll be the height of realism to do this way, but if it lets me do it, I think I'm happy to do it. Again, probably not the height of realism. Very, very far from it, in fact. But it doesn't create any separate junctions in here. It's still just one stop sign. So I'm pretty okay with it. I was worried that we might have to have like cars stop in the middle here. But it looks like the game is taking care of that for us. So that is good news. And I'll come through and do the lines and everything after we sort of get things situated. But we will have a line going from our train station here to our outside connection, which is named Properton. If I did name it properly a long time ago. Yes, Properton. So that is a friend and fellow creator's city of Pilot Build Cities. So feel free to go check out his channel. I would highly suggest it. He's got some great stuff going on there. And he just reached 500 subscribers. So I'm really excited for him. I love his channel. He's a great creator. So go check that out. So that'll be one of our connections. Then we'll obviously have it going from city to city. So we'll go from this little city here of Vinegary Vista, this neighborhood, and we'll have it come back to Gherkin Glen, one of the first neighborhoods that we set up in the city. So, and eventually I will have them come out, the train go to serve our fancy community over here. We won't have the train station anywhere like in this area. It'll probably be over here, but they can, you know, these people can travel to that train station and go elsewhere. But that's a pretty simple stuff for that one. Looks like we do have another abandoned building. I don't know if that's because that one next to it upgraded and it messed something up or what, but we'll just clear that out. Okay, so trains are simple. Now, the next thing that we have to do and look at, and we don't really have to do a whole lot different and to change it, but I do want to add some things to it, and that is our subway. So I didn't take out the subway lines, mostly because I actually forgot about them, but it worked out for the best because these are actually kind of perfect how they are. The only thing I want to do is create a connection to our airport because we have no public transit going to our airport other than taxis. So I definitely want to get that in today. And also, I want to move this one just a smidge to be in our little education plaza park here. So we're going to start with that. And what I would like to do is go underground here, and we'll delete just a little bit of this track. And I think we're also going to need to clear out... we'll knock it back just one more, just in case, to give us all the room that we need. And I think I'm going to need to knock out some of these decorations. So maybe if I just get rid of these two paths, fix these paths later. What I think we can do is just move this station just a little bit and pop it right in here. Okay, so then we'll go back underground, and then I just need to connect these two guys up again. We'll go into our transportation tab, subways, double track, and we will go ahead and get our regular curve tool on. So our guidelines meet and meet it right up there. We'll do the same thing on this side, just grab out with a straight tool a little ways. Think about here should be fine. We've got our 180 degrees. We'll grab our simple curve tool and do the same thing. As soon as we get our lines met up here, we'll just curve it in. And now that is nice and set up. Okay, and the next thing that we want to do is get a station over here. So I want there to be kind of like an express line from the downtown, basically, into our airport. And I think the best place to put it is in our little middle section here. So, and I don't want it on the main kind of... I don't want it on Laurel Street, because I want that to be sort of the express line for people just dropping off people at the airport. I mean, I know that it doesn't actually function like that in the game, but what's life without a little pretend, right? So a little imagination, a little stretch of the imagination, we can pretend that that's what that's being used for. And I'd like to have the subway on Green Street. So we'll go ahead and we'll place this here. It'll get rid of our little trees, but that's okay. And then what we'll do is get our lines back out again. And this one should be pretty simple to just draw out and connect right into this existing one without much trouble. There we go. And then what we can do is get our line tool out, and we'll have one just going, we'll start it here. We'll have it come back to this one and then back. And that's literally it. For that one, that's all I need. And before we move away from this and I forget about it, we're going to go into our transportation overview. And we'll go into our subway lines, and we'll rename this our Airport Express. And I think it'll be nice if we give it a little bit of a blue color to, you know, signify the air, I guess, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm going for with that. It doesn't really matter what you name and color them, but if you want to keep them organized, I definitely recommend it. I have run into so many problems with this, both in City Skylines 1 and City Skylines 2, that I make so many transit lines in an episode when I'm doing something, and I forget all about where they're going and where they're coming from and what their purpose was. So I highly recommend naming them, but of course it's all up to you, however you want to run your city. So let's clear out another abandoned building. We'll just keep knocking them out. So now the next one, I'm kind of just going through individual, like piece by piece. So we did subway, we've got trains. Buses I'll save for last because I kind of want to know where our other major transit convergences are and what our missing links are, basically. Where are people not getting served? And that's where I'll try to use the buses to fill in those gaps. So next up on our list is trams, which we had quite a few different tram lines, and I think we can actually sort of condense them a little bit and create one longer line. And I might use two. I might have one specifically as like an express through the downtown. And then I want another, just one, serving pretty much the rest of the area. And I can shuttle people to that tram line with buses and taxis, or they can even walk depending on, you know, the distance. So the reason if you want to zoom out of your city, that can also really help you kind of look at where you want things to go, and also help you find like kind of your major roads a little bit easier if you zoom out. So what I'm thinking is we have an express line kind of going right through the downtown. Just a simple one through here, because we have our subway going kind of around the outside of the downtown, but nothing that goes quite right through the middle. So I'm thinking that for there. And then for the other one, which will serve the entire city, and it'll be a pretty busy tram line, I would imagine, is if we start from all the way over here on Poplar Street, we go down and through our our industrial park here near our power plant, and then just take this, Chestnut Street, all the way down. Just all the way down to the end. I don't think we need to have it go into the industrial park where this street actually ends, which is a very weird way that the street goes. I still don't understand how exactly the programming figures out how the streets work and why that one goes all the way into here for some reason. Because I think this area is close enough and will be able to be served with buses and things to get them to the tram line if they need it. So what we need to do for that then is get our tram tracks and upgrade some of these roads. So I'm going to go through and do our downtown one. And I want them to be able to have it so that it goes back and forth and we don't need a tram loop. And if you'll remember, or if you've forgotten, I'll go through it again. To get the tram to go back and forth, you need to have a divided street. So we have our 6-lane street here, and I believe it does have the median. Let's go in and check our large road. 6-lane divided road. Yeah, that's what this road is. This is how it looks like without it. So, okay. So we are all set with that. So then what you need to do is grab a one-way tram track, and you want a one-way one at the end, wherever you want it to be turning around at. And then, so we'll go ahead and do it at the other end as well, down here. And then in the middle, we'll upgrade it with our regular tram track. Then, to make sure that it actually functions, all you do is you make sure that you put a stop down at the end, and it'll switch it to be functional. So it no longer gives you the warning that it's not connected properly. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll go through and do the stops later. We've talked about on the channel already how to go about putting stops and how to connect the lines. So I'll probably do all of that during a detailing time lapse. Instead, what we're going to do is move over to this side, and we're going to do the same thing. But I believe on this side, we are going to need to upgrade the end of the road to be that divided road. So we'll go ahead and we'll add that here. And I'm okay with it just being like one little segment of the road this way. I'm pretty okay with it. So we'll do that. And then we'll want to make sure that our other end is the same as well. So where we want it to end is going to be... I think we can actually just have it kind of turn around in this area and make use out of this existing tram track that we have. So that's perfect. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do then, that makes things a little bit easier on this side. So we'll just upgrade around it to have the tram track. We'll have it come through this little community center with our, I think we've got a water park and some sports stuff. Excellent. And I'm going to go ahead and speed on through this and upgrade the rest of this road to have the tram tracks on it. Okay, and then just to make sure that we get this side working as it should. Oh, I forgot to actually put the tram on there. Upgrade it with our one-way tram track here, tram line. And then we'll add our stop, and that should be good. Looks like it is. And then we'll fly on over to the other side. Whoops, lost my train here. There we go. And we'll just stop right outside of the water park here. I think that'll be fine. And then we'll choose exactly where to put those stops. Again, I'll kind of want to do that in a detailing time lapse. Which really, we could do right about now while I go and set up all of the lines that we have so far. I guess it won't be a detailing time lapse. We will do some detailing, hopefully with a couple mods. It looks like I might have to exit the game and go back into it again because it doesn't look like they loaded in properly. Still some, little kinks with the beta version of the mods. But anyway, I'm going to go through and get all of my lines set up, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I think that actually will do it as far as time-lapsing stuff and detailing will go. Just because, I didn't really add anything new to the city. It's just a transit overhaul. I'll probably go back through those areas. Maybe we'll do a live stream and do sort of like a micro detailing and play around with some of the really cool mods that are coming out for detailers. So I'm really excited to get a look at those. And as I speak, there is supposed to be one, I think, by Sully. I don't know if he's the one who makes I don't think he's the one that actually makes the mod, but I know that he kind of demonstrates them really well. So I know that he's got a trailer on his channel, Sully. If you've not checked it out, you really should. He does some amazing, incredible stuff. But I know that's supposed to come out the day that I'm recording this video, so I'm not sure that it has yet or what the situation is, but it looks amazing. I'm really excited to get my hands on that for detailing purposes. So I think that could be a kind of a fun live stream now that we have like a serious, a pretty sizable city going on here of 53,000 people. A little bit of a micro detailing, going back through some older areas that weren't able to be detailed as nicely because mods hadn't been out yet. So I think that, yeah. Well, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. A live stream sort of that variety. But otherwise, that is actually all I'm gonna have for you guys today. So I hope this was still enjoyable to take a look at the city from on this larger scale and see how the transit sort of connects and make it kind of flow a little bit better because we've been neglecting it in Pickleton for quite some time now. I've just been building more and more areas and relying on that one tram line for pretty much all of it. And I think that that's probably still mostly the one that's doing the best. If we look at the tram line passengers, the usage percentage doesn't seem very high, but the passengers are pretty sizable. So I think that looks nice. If we can also take a look at, this is traffic. Where's our transit here? Transportation. 15,000 people total right now. So, I don't know what it was before. I would have to go back and look. And I'm sure that as this filters out and gets functional, these numbers will probably be different. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and see how well it's doing. I think it might have been doing better before. Who knows? But we just put it in, so it's gotta take time to run, I guess. But we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, it clears up some of these traffic issues. Seem to already have cleared up. I know we had a little jam going on here for a minute. Which sometimes, it just takes a minute for it to cycle through. Otherwise, though, I hope you still enjoyed the video and taking a look. I'm kind of obsessed with looking at the city from above. It looks really cool. I've never really built a city of this scale, not even in City Skylines, so I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I hope you're all enjoying it too. So if you are, feel free to leave a like below to let me know that you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed already, but you like City Skylines 2 content, you want to see more of it, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. I'd love to have you stick around. But I will leave you with some cinematics, just kind of generally of the city to enjoy, maybe a couple first-person tours on some of these trams or something to enjoy on your way out. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.